you have the entire worldwide economy of countries that you're really trading for or against. That's really what's happened. It's just another form of trading. Like at the beginning, we had bartering. So you had, if you had some wool, you had a painting. I'm trying to figure out how to get your painting. We figured out a way to exchange things. Well, now the whole world has said, okay, you know what? We're basically going to go off of a standard note. And so everybody's agreed to it for the most part. Most countries have agreed to it. So now when you're trading in the foreign exchange market, stocks is when you're trading the valuations of companies. Foreign exchange, I'm looking at countries. So I'm looking at the economy of the United States. I'm looking at like what's going on with Brexit and stuff like that. That affects the British pound. That affects the euro. And so there's a lot of things that are happening. So when I'm trading, let's say, for instance, the Australian dollar versus the euro, the United States dollar, AUD, USD. Well, what I'm saying is if I go in to buy, I believe the Australian dollar is going to be stronger than the US dollar at this period of time. So every time you enter a trade, you're buying and or selling another currency at the same time.
So it's like, all right, I'm going to do the Australian dollar and the US dollar. For lack of a better word, betting that the Australian dollar will outpace the US dollar today.
Correct. Yeah, in that period of time.
And if that happens today, I make money.
Correct.
If the US dollar outpaces the Australian dollar today, I lose money.
Correct. But it's not even just today. It could like you could be in a trade for a few minutes. You could be in there for a few hours. People hold trades for months, swing traders. Mm-hmm. So it really just depends on the time period that you're going to be trading in, that you can actually be able to make money. But the thing is, if I say, I believe the US dollar is going to get stronger and it gets weaker, well, I'm going to lose money. But it's the same principle that we talk about with trading, like when we're traveling. So let's say we go to Europe. When you go to the country, when we're traveling, we're not really paying attention. It's like, okay, give me $1,000 and give me whatever that is in this country's currency. And then when you leave the country, you either the country's currency is either gone up or gone down. That's why when you go to the foreign exchange booth at the airport, y'all notice that the value is always changing. It's not sitting. It's always changing because the currency is always moving. So when you have those movements in the market, we're able to make money on those movements, just like you would traveling, except for now I don't have to travel to Europe or travel to Canada to make that profit. I can do it from my home.
So let me ask you this, as far as like stocks, obviously, people have their favorites, whether it's technology companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and all stocks aren't the same. Like, if you invest in, a penny stock, it's not the same as investing in Tesla. So currencies, is it the same? Like, are there like some currencies that are like the premier currencies, or do you have a favorite that you like to actually trade?
Yeah, there are, but it's all personal. I tell people all the time, trading is personal because what it is really like you got to look at the chart and it's got to make sense to you, at the end of the day. Because, like for instance, my personal favorite is AUD USD. It's not the top moving currency pair, but it flows for me. I'm like a chill guy.
All Australian dollar?
Yeah, Australian dollar, US dollar. Right. And so Australian dollar versus US dollar. But for me, I'm like a chill guy. I travel a lot. So I don't need a ton of movement to be able to make the moves that I need to make in the market. There's some people that like USD JPY, the United States dollar versus the Japanese yen. Moves a lot.
After you've made your selection of your pair, are there like some strategies or technical things that you should be looking at when you go into this? Because I know we've had a conversation before about doing the analytics and the technicals when it was coming to the stock market. So what are some of those things that we use in Forex?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of tools. Some people trade with indicators. Personally, I don't, but they work for people. Mm-hmm. Again, it all depends on what works for you and what you see when you look in the market. Some of the basics that are really important is like support and resistance. Okay. Understanding, the floor and the ceiling, on a certain currency pair that helps you with your entry point. Understanding like drawing trend lines so you can see where the market is going when it breaks the trend. Maybe it's a good time to get into the market. Fibonacci, right? Using Fibonacci, looking for retracement levels and is this a good time to get back in? All of those things really kind of come in. And so what a lot of people use is a combination of a few things, and that's kind of become their strategy.
If you want to see more of this clip, head to our YouTube, Spotify, or Apple channels to check out the full episode.